draft started. I think. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I'm excited. Week 2, ready. Hyped. I wasn't here last week, but I'm here this week, and so is Seder, clearly. You looking forward?
TCD are looking like a very good squad coming off of that 2-0 in the first week. So I should be looking forward to seeing what they're going to go. You said that there should be some bans thrown towards the mid lane, correct?
Yeah, I'm expecting the all classic Raheel Ben strategy. He's it's a bit of the carry for the side of TCD. And it's basically the 3 normal bans would be Yasuo, Vladimir, and Kassadin. And I'm curious to see if they're actually going to go for that or if you see some adaptation. But for now, looks fairly standard.
Yeah, there's the first ban coming in. You were talking about that before. The Caston is a big pickup for him. And I just see the jungle focus here from the TCD Ducks, taking out the 2 probably strongest junglers right now, bar Graves in the meta. But another strong pick being taken away there with the Vladimir. Very, very strong. And especially like late game, you can just take over games with it.
For sure. And then that just leaves one classic Raheel pick, which is the Yasuo. But yeah, you were talking about it. Jungle in this patch, in this meta, super, super, super strong. And especially those 2 or 3 jungles. We also have Nidalee, but I'm not sure anyone plays that really. Graves is still up, but I'm guessing if it's open, that Onyx Goose would love to play that. So I'm not sure if they're gonna bend that away.
No, it shouldn't be their focus. Okay, they did. Never mind. I apologize. They shouldn't just focus the one lane, especially now that the TCD Ducks have first pick and they get obviously a very strong pick, Ornn, one of the most contested and strongest top laners there is in the meta. Also, it should be on the UCC side now to take a jungler at least, because 3 have already been taken, but a Lulu hover, but we're just going to leave it as a hover. I think they should be taking a jungler here, or it could just be Graves Ornn for the TCD Ducks, which is an incredible start to the draft.
It gives them so much in the top side, but the Lulu's going to be locked in. They have played it before. It was Krusty on the mid lane. Could be a bit of a flex. Flex is going to be taken away though. Yuumi being picked up, and that means that I'm expecting Kadra to be picking up that Ezreal in the next rotation if it's still left open.
Also, the Lulu mid is more than likely coming in. That just screams like solo queue kind of funneling comps. So I'm a bit intrigued to see how this works out for them, considering Lulu can be punished quite heavily in lane. She's not exactly dominant in the mid lane. She can kind of safely farm, but any sort of sweeping champion like Azir going in and ulting you, you're going to have a very hard time beating that. So jungler's not being picked up though at all in this first round is very interesting. And the Ezreal being taken as well. You were saying that they should take that for UCC, but a nice little snipe there.
Yeah, that Azir. The Azir is Grace, I think, because something bugged. So the Azir was the jungler has been locked in, I think. Anyway.
Yeah, that looks like it is the Graves pick. Azir is Graves. Okay, fair enough. Okay. We'll take that. We'll take that.
Makes a bit more sense. Like you were saying, you want that jungle pick. I don't think I've ever seen Raheel play Azir in my life before, so I really like the look-in way more than I do like Azir. And then the Echo, I think, is a response. Well, it should be a response for the jungle because the Lulu, of course, already going in that mid lane.
Yeah, so that looks like a very strong setup so far for a hyper carry ADC to come out. And with the Ezreal taken away, do you think maybe even a Draven or something with like a very high base AD to just be boosted constantly by the Lulu and Yuumi could be the way to go? And a lot more mid lane bans coming towards Raheel there. You said he'd get 1 or 2, but like this is a straight 5. This is the Bjergsen effect, no?
It is the straight 5 and doesn't really surprise me too much. And I'm kind of curious what's left open, because interestingly enough, he is a Yone enjoyer, so we could see that being locked in. That would be very, very exciting. Do fine against Lulu, I think. It's a bit of safety, but that polymorph, of course, stops a little bit of his aggression. Not a whole lot left open after all these 5. So we're going to see next rotation anyway, where he was going to play.
Yeah, I'm hoping for maybe a Zoe. Zoe's pretty strong right now, and it works quite well, roaming, moving around the map. And Nasus... top into Ornn. Okay. I think this is the first time I've ever casted a Nasus game. And you are correct, it is the own. Very well done, Dutch. Okay, like this game has already seen the weirdest pick ban I think I've ever had, and I've casted like Div 3 back in the day, where like a Mumu was highly contested. This is Yuumi, Lulu, Echo, Nasus. What do you finish that comp out with? There's no ADC that works with that, no?
Realistically, you want an ADC that either sets up your team, so like an Ashe, which could work very well. Caitlyn could be done as well, because it gives a little bit of safety towards a Yuumi, because what you realistically would like to do is you make Nasus your hyper carry, right? His issue is getting guided. Well, with Zoomies, with the Lulu W, he's just going to run straight at you and try and kill you that way. So it kind of makes sure that Nasus still has a way in, even in the later stage of the game. But we're going to have to wait and see, and there's the setup if that gets actually locked in, yeah.
Very well done, Dutch. You got this one perfectly right. I'm just sitting here in shock. It's either you're playing like season 10 meta or like season 1 meta. There is no in between. The Yone pick is interesting, especially with 5 bans. I would have hoped for a little bit more AP on the team. That's quite a lot of AD coming out. Blitzcrank could be the highest AP there. And then on the other side, Ornn. It's still a very, very interesting setup overall. I'm not sure who actually won the draft. It looks like the UCC NetSoc Rebels had a plan going in here. Like they had a idea of what they wanted to play, and they've executed on it pretty well. But on the other side, just TCD Ducks seem to be playing for comfort, which can also work. What do you think is better one here?
Well, I think the main issue that we're looking at here is, like you were saying, that AD damage is very, very heavy on the side of TCD. And I think Nasus especially can both itemize for it. Could even go Iceborne Godlet if you want to go that way and foresee the Trinity Force. But if he has that defense, that armor stacked up against his team, and he has the heals, and he has the shields, then it's just going to be very, very hard to kill that Nasus. So it's going to be very, very hard for TCD to actually run this one out, because normally we'd say, you have Yone, you have Ornn, you have scaling. I think, particularly in both of these comps, that's not really the case.
Yeah. As I'm looking more, like, I'm looking at the bot lane, I'm looking at the Yuumi Ashe, and Blitzcrank is just perfectly set up there to land the hook, because Ashe is a slow champion. She doesn't have a dash or a dodge or any sort of movement, so for an Ezreal Blitzcrank, that lane should be incredibly easy, considering you're only really aiming for one target. It's not often you'll see a Blitzcrank hit a hook onto the likes of a Yuumi, because Yuumi should just be staying on the Ashe. So that bot lane could be massively volatile, especially with the Graves coming in down to that bot side, because I think the Ornn Nasus matchup's going to be a bit of a wet noodle fight. There's not going to be too much you're able to do there. Then Yone doesn't really roam that much until level 6, so like that bot lane should be the focus here for Graves. I'm just trying to think, does Echo have enough agency in that mid lane with Lulu to get something done onto Yone and make that the winning lane, or do they need to stick to the top side and try use the mixed damage from Nasus and Echo to take down the Ornn?
Oh, that's a funny thing as well, right? Because you do have the Echo to kind of deal with the Ornn, makes it a little bit harder to itemize for that champion as well. And clearly, my analysis doesn't get agreed on with the chat poll, which has a clear favor towards TCD. So we're gonna have to see if that works out in that game as well. For now, I actually really like the Nasus draft with both of those enchanters. And even if that doesn't work out, you have the Ashe to put your focus on. So it's just gonna be that bot lane. I feel like if that bot lane or that mid lane doesn't really get ahead, then I see a lot of troubles being there for TCD, right?
Does the Ornn late game matter more than the Nasus late game? Does Nasus, when turned into Susan, win against the Ornn? It's an odd one to kind of think of, because it's usually not a question you'll ever ask yourself when you're casting, because Nasus has been so far out of the meta for so long that you barely ever see it, even in solo queue these days. So I'm curious to see what someone with picking this directly in and knowing what they're doing, do they have it to actually beat the Ornn and beat that item upgrade? I'm sure Boris, the shopkeep, has something to say about it. But we will be back in 3 minutes to get into this game, and don't go anywhere.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to our first game between TCD and UCC. And quick update on that poll over there, because it looks like, you know, it stopped around a little bit as soon as draft has happened, and then I believe it was UCC that came out on top on the poll. As little fate actually happening already, but sticking myself already placing an award and making sure that Blitzcrank doesn't really get a free grab.
Yeah, no, nice little invade there, getting a little bit of info, knowing he's up there. It doesn't matter, you know. It's all about that 1 CS advantage. You coming into that game, a little bit of extra gold, you know what you've got, you know. But I am interested to see that Intercourse did go for the TP there. He did take the TP in Ezreal, knowing that that lane is going to be one where he's going to be pushing hard and he's going to be using resources, so he needs to keep going back, pick up that tier, go again, keep pushing. So nice to see him getting that, and a nice defensive ward line as well coming out from UCC.
Yeah, they want to make sure that Blitzcrank doesn't get any early advantages. You know, Blitzcrank, as soon as he gets into an advantageous position and he gets a ward somewhere where you don't really expect it, then getting a free flash is always kind of easy. We see that Gray's starting bot side, so I'm expecting him to move up towards the top. In the draft you were saying you expect him to go bottom lane. Bottom lane is going to be that volatile lane. What can we really expect there from this Graves?
I think Graves should be focusing that bot side because you have the Blitzcrank. You have the setup there, you have that one pull that is just detrimental to any bot lane. Like, if you get pulled, you have to flash or you're going to take a chunk of damage, and if that jungler's there in time, that can end the laning phase for you. But as you see, Kronk taking a lot of damage. Cage is looking comfortable here already with the Yuumi, and that's going to be a couple of pots wasted, so maybe Graves will have to focus nearer to that top side, but there is an information ward there on the enemy Raptor camp, and Onyx Goose had that placed by the mid laner, did not spot Burnfoot because he went red, recalled, and he's going to run straight towards his blue, so no information will be given over, so he's going to be a little bit confused on where Echo is, so he might not go for any early aggression not knowing that information.
Yeah, it's actually a bit of an interesting spot. I would expect to just go Wolf, but maybe took a little bit more damage than he expected it to be. Knowing that this Graves is going topside, we could even see, you know, the I don't want to say silver strats because it's a bad strat, but it's something we see a lot in silver where the junglers just go towards Nasus and like perma-gank him, make sure that he never gets towards that mid phase, right?
Yeah.
Which is also an option that we can very also.
No, that makes sense. As we're having a look around now, there is actually a slight CS lead being built up in the mid lane, but if we look towards top, Matt's Connoisseur is just putting numbers on Nasus here and really forcing them under. We will have to try to keep an eye on the stacks for the Nasus over the course of the game, because that will be the biggest outlier on how strong the Nasus is. It's not usually items or his CS numbers or levels, it's usually just the number of stacks he can acquire in that laning phase. Hopefully, because it's a more of a competitive environment, we won't see that solo queue Nasus that just doesn't leave lane. He just kind of stays up there all day, and he's like, the team's losing, but he has 800 stacks, and it's the team's fault that they lost, you know? Hopefully we don't have that. You never know, it could happen. But Raheel putting some damage down there.
Yeah, it's the safety of that Yone that can just go back and get a bit of extra damage. Getting another knockup as well. Trading well, as we do have a bit of a kerfuffle in the top lane, and Ornn, you know, you might not expect it, he just got the whole on.
Yeah, the little dance spam there, very nice. No, it's going to be an interesting game to see where those kind of first kind of setups come through. We saw Burnfoot kind of show himself a little bit there, but we see he actually is going towards the top side on his goose, going for that gank, as we just see where he was trading. Takes a turret shot, but still heavily wins that trade, I think.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious where the polymorph is, because
on his goose.
Honestly, he smites the way, what a hero, goes for the chase as well, forces the flash out of Burnfoot, and that's a, you know, unexpected early game, but very nice to see.
That's a feels bad. That's just a feels bad there. But you can see the CS league coming in already from that. The weird pathing there from Burnfoot, just whether or not you wanted to give the information away about that ward, just losing that camp compared to like the pathing that was suboptimal already. You're falling so far behind on an Echo, which is like, it's not a great jungle pick.
What the Yone as well? Everything happened at the same time there. A dive in the top lane and then Yone just sort of solo killing this Lulu.
We saw a glimmer of what happened there for mid lane, and like Lulu was in the air, ignited, had a good amount of health, and then just disappeared, which is the passive damage coming in from the E. But it was just gone. It was just, yeah, just taken over there. But like, that's 2 quick kills coming in. The flash not used by the Nasus in the top side there, so it was just that quick. The knockup came in, and that passive auto attack, the automatic Sheen proc, as I like to call it, that Ornn gets, and just deletes Nasus, and Onyx Goose coming in to just kind of clean up the last bit of health. Overall, the Graves just has such a higher impact right now, and the Echo really needs to pick it up and find something to do on the map, because it's already like nearly a 2k goal lead coming in.
Well, Impact being searched towards that dragon, so they at least have that objective. Even for this Nasus, who's probably gonna be stacking a fair bit of armor, gonna be a very nice trade to pick up for themselves. But for now, yeah, that Graves, really nice timing for him as well. Goes in for the flash, wants to steal it. A little bit too far forward, but Raheel is gonna be there. Gets the knockup. It's gonna hit too. Gonna look for more though as the Ornn gonna come down. He teleported all the way towards the straight burn pop. No way out, and neither does Krusty Pants. So it's gonna be 2 kills for the side of TCD.
A lot given up there to pick up those kills, but they didn't get the Drake in the end. The flash from Onyx Goose didn't quite get into the range, but overall that's not a terrible start. This is something they can play around, they can use as a win condition, but here comes Kronk, and he pulls Blitzcrank lever and gets a very nice hook on the Cager. This could be another kill for Interforce, which could blow open, but no. Steps away, chooses not to chase it, and only 3 summoners used to stop that. Not too bad. We're getting there.
Yeah, I think it's these, you know, that hook 15-second-ish cooldown. So they didn't really have a whole lot to chase with. I think it's fine to just go away, get your summoners, and be fine and dandy with that. But yeah, UCC is just fastly going down. Actually, it's a 43k gold deficit, and they just have to break to get themselves going.
The only thing that would probably feels worse right now for the side of UCC is the fact that Ezreal did pick up that kill on Burn Pup. He was on the tiniest amount of health and he managed to dodge the Ornn Bellows Breath, but when he jumped to dodge that, he landed right in front of Ezreal, who just E'd forward and managed to kill him. So giving that kill over does slightly change that lane. That means that on the next back, Interforce should be able to pick up that Sheen, which will just force that lane a lot harder, and it means he will get a little bit later on the mana immune. He won't be getting that pickaxe, but with that Sheen, that Ashe really has to be careful, considering it's also the Bork build. And all in could probably spell the end for that bot lane, because Yuumi just doesn't have it right now, especially with both summoners down and the heal being down. They're going to have to burn that flash to survive, and if the Blitzcrank is good, he's going to hold on to that hook as well. So we will have to keep an eye on that bot side. That should be a big point now for Onyx Goose to look at.
Yeah, we were thinking that'd be the only, you know, major lane for the side of Trinity, but apparently the solo laners are just doing a lot of work, as Kronk getting poked out a little bit. We also see no ultimate yet available for this Yuumi, which makes that escape, as you were saying, a little bit more difficult. We have another trade in the top lane, but it's just tanky versus tanky, and
it's a wet noodle fight. There's none to cast, it's just who gets the most grass procs. Actually, it's not even grasp for Nasus. That's why he's losing. You need that grasp. Grasp wins top.
Conqueror helps as well, but it's just the burst that Ornn has for some reason makes it so that there's very short trades. Video he misses. Herald got picked up by Onyx Goose.
And another objective. He didn't get the mountain. There's a snipe going towards the mid laner. Oh, he's trying to steal the Raptors. I don't think he got too many of them, but they did spot out Burn Pup. Oh, he didn't make it over the wall. The one thing we didn't kind of really touch on there was the mid lane kind of difference that's kind of being built up right now. Raheel has really punished that Lulu and the CS difference. This could be an even bigger point for TCD to work around. Like, Raheel's 2-0-1 right now, has a bounty on him, is out farming heavily on what I thought was a safe pick. But he seems to be like taking over in that lane. Would it be smart for him to start roaming now, or do you think he should stay in that lane and keep forcing Krusty Pants back?
I mean, as long as Krusty Pants doesn't really have any items, I think Raheel's gonna be very, very happy. The wild growth shouldn't be doing too much, and Raheel 2 levels up, about 50 CS up. I don't think he wants to leave this lane ever, and the amount of pressure he provides as well. We see this Echo constantly having to move towards that mid lane, so he just doesn't have to feed him to do anything. And talking about that, Raheel finds another engage, gets the pull back for a bit of extra damage, but good trade by him.
Yeah, that was a massive trade there, and as we see Echo coming towards this mid lane, it looks like Onyx should be putting down that Rift Herald. Yeah, it has been put down. Onyx.
Burn Pop actually does so much damage. Ults backwards, it's perfectly on time, but it doesn't matter. Burn Pop goes down. He doesn't get the kill, and so will Krusty. Trinity is just walking over UCC right now.
Yeah, it wasn't close at all. I think Krusty Pants, if he had got that ult off onto Burn Pup, that could have changed it, but he just wasn't in range and couldn't quite land it. Onyx, risky to say the least, but gets away with his life. That should also convert into a free Drake. I'm kind of hoping for an Ocean more than a Cloud, because if a Cloud comes in and TCD manage to take all of the Drakes, Ornn and Raheel will just have wombo combos every, 35 seconds? Every fight, it'll just be the very same Ornn Horn into Raheel, and he takes Gromp, he goes in.
Well, the Blitzcrank actually does so much damage as well as Raheel. Picks up his 4th kill of the game.
He's just farming the enemy jungle. Small trade. Intercourse jumps in solo just to get a little bit more damage there onto Krusty Pants, but Raheel just went in to steal Gromp and ends up with another kill onto Burn Pup. That's a bad sign going into the game right now for UCC. That's not what you want to see, but as we return to the top side, it's a comfortable lead here for the Mats Connoisseur. He's actually going to go for this one.
Yeah, Ornn of knock up, knock back, and a kill for the Mats Connoisseur yet again towards this Nasus, who did have his flash up, but decided to save it for next Ornn ultimate. Bit unfortunate for me to get out of that one. And it's looking rough, man. It is. I don't know what to say.
I think Susan's worst enemy is a goat. That's all I'm gonna say. It's like all the videos you see on YouTube with like the fainting goats. We don't have one of those. We have a fainting dog. He's just kind of rolling over and dying at this stage, and he's not just playing dead. He's actually going back to Fountain. But obviously, Raheel just goes into the enemy jungle. Burn Pup trying his best.
Stays alive for a little bit longer, but doesn't nearly matter. Raheel goes in yet again, gets a knockup from max range, but Krusty can't just flash away to safety.
Is that twice now? Burn Pup hasn't been able to get a buff because Raheel just doesn't care and goes into the enemy jungle. That's just... I think they need to like change up maybe how they're looking at the game, because they've lost everything in mid. Both their side lanes are holding on, but Krusty Pants hasn't been able to keep Raheel under control. Like, if they're so worried about him... Oh god.
Yeah, that's just bullying at this point.
I think a control mage in the mid lane is important if they for the next game. Because this is a 10-0 game, there's a 10k goal lead. This is... Mats Connoisseur, does he win that?
He does win that, but doesn't get the kill as a hook comes down, and man, it takes a whole lot of 2 seconds to get a kill out of that one. 11-0, 10k gold lead. There's almost a Flame Horizon in the mid lane.
And another buff given over to Raheel as he just goes back into the enemy jungle to get another one. He does manage to pick it up as well. Krusty Pants trying his best there, but being 3 levels down.
Yo, get this champion out of my face.
Like,
so disgusting,
5
man.
bans and 604. That's... This is like Zillion Game 5 TSM stuff, but not at Worlds, because they can't do that at Worlds. But nonetheless, like, that's just an exceptional game coming in from Raheel. But we have to remember Onyx was coming in as well, getting that other setup for him, helping him get the plates, everything else. It's not just him solo winning the game, it is still his team working well around him. And Intercourse and Mats, when you look at it now, it's more just safety lanes and yeah.
Well, what's there to say? Every time Raheel was in the picture, you get a kill. I can't even play by play. It doesn't take a full second. They get a return kill. They're on the board. It's not a perfect
comeback
anymore.
season. It's comeback season. It is worrying to say the least when your mid lane and jungle are level 9 and level 7. And the enemy mid laner is level 12 with a KP of 11. But they're not just rolling over and playing dead, they're at least looking aggressive and trying to get something, but maybe this isn't the... goes for it. Does he get it?
Gets the shutdown
That's
as well.
2 kills. The shutdown, it is worth a lot of gold. So Burn Pup isn't out of this game yet. He may be 1-7, but he's trying.
I mean, Nasus is gonna try and stop this tower from taking. Might actually have enough damage to deal with him.
This could be big.
Broken, but there's so much life to finally a shutdown goes over. That's 3 shutdowns in a row. You were joking, comeback season, but that's a lot of gold going back into the pocket of UCC.
A nice use of the B emote as well there. Sticky White stuff right now. We're going to have to check the stacks. It has to be done. Currently sitting on 243 stacks.
Okay.
So, on average, it's, what is it, 200 at 15. So he's slightly above average Nasus stacks. Now, this is a couple of seasons ago, the last time that was a stat, because when's the last time we saw a Nasus? But we see Burn Pup here, level 8, just trying to get his jungle cleared. He's currently sitting at 80 CS after that ward. Not looking good. Where do the UCC focus now to try to get back into this game?
Well, so realistically, there are a couple of options which both, aren't that nice. As no hook is gonna land. Either you still do all your backs into the Nasus basket, got a shutdown, has his Iceborne Gauntlet now completed. You can try and keep him alive as long as possible. There's some possibility of a Baron steal, which could get you back into the game. And then if we're looking really, really late, because I don't think they can ever get the pressure to get towards the Dragon Soul, you could look towards the Elder Drake steal, and that could be a legitimate way back into this game if we ever get to that point, because that looks, the possibilities of that ever happening very, very slim.
Yeah, so like we have a Cloud Drake now, so that makes the scaling for these teams infinitely better for both sides.
It looks like Nasus doing a lot of damage.
That's not Nasus. That's Susan.
It's Susan now.
It is Susan. Once you become that, like, oh, I can't kill it anymore, it's Susan. But it'll, like, they have infinite scaling now with Cloud, so they're gonna have so many ults, gonna have so many more chances to make those fights happen, especially with Matt's Connoisseur and Raheel working together here.
Oh no, this looks awful. Oh. Yes, it does. Burn Pup gonna ult backwards, but immediately goes into the waiting arms of Raheel, who happily picks up an extra 300 gold.
Okay, so there's now 5 top. They have Rift Herald available. Ults are currently down for Raheel, Matt's Connoisseur, and of course, so this should be a slow siege. But that doesn't mean they're not going to go hand, because they still have Kronk. And if Kronk hits the right lever, they win the game. All he has to do is pull in the right targets, and that could be the game. He's going for Kadra.
Yes, Flash! That's right on the ADC. All you want to see, the 5-man root just isn't enough at this point. They get the inhibitor, they get the tower, they get the kill, they get everything in this game.
As I was saying, Kronk just needs to hit the right lever. Great stuff, great siege. Baron isn't even available for them, so they can't actually do much else apart from clear out the enemy jungle and reset. But it just seems like TCD have this game shut. They shouldn't be able to lose out here. They just have to reset and go again, go up towards the mid lane, the bot lane, wherever they want to go, because they have that top open now. The next Drake isn't for another 2-3 minutes. They have so much time to work with, and they're so far ahead. They just play as like a team, or they can go picking with Raheel. This is a worrying game, and this should be where like momentum should carry TCD, but this is where the mental kind of strength comes from. And if UCC can come back from this and get a win, that would be massive for them in the standings, and teams would worry about them a lot more.
Well, they have to get options first, and I hate to mention it, but Raheel's CS is absolutely disgusting.
The guy watches Doinbe's videos, you know?
Oh man, he also just like, they have so much freedom. Like they let all the solo laners get their own jungle, and then the jungle just invades Burn Pup's jungle, so they get that CS as well. There's so much of them on the map, it's ridiculous. 200 total CS, 20 minutes. He has 3 items already, man. It's I don't know. I don't know what to say. Well, Baron's gonna be started.
20-minute Baron.
Could be the Miracle Steal. Very much could be.
Kronk is
Very
going to
well
stand and wait to see someone and then go for the pull. He does actually miss, so
Misses.
this could be the chance. This is Burn Puff's moment of glory.
It really is, but Raheel is gonna try and make a stop to it. Has to go back though. No escape anymore for Burn.
Oh,
Gets knocked
God.
off. It's gonna go down. The steal attempt gone. Dusted. This game just as well might be over as the Baron gonna be secured. 21 minutes and 41 seconds.
Okay. That is a interesting fight around the Baron. Raheel chasing while never actually leaving the Baron pit is insane. And then doesn't manage to catch Burn Puppy ulting to try to get back into a position to get into the pit. Can't even get in because Masscancer lands a lovely knock-up right at the edge of the pit to keep Burn Pup out. That's exceptionally well played again from TCD, and we never even got to see a Ruin's Hurricane on Kadra and that team fight potential because she's just so far behind right now. And Burn Pup trying to take some of his own jungle, can't get any. Raheel looking for more kills. I don't see a way back in unless somehow Raheel goes down to Kadra.
Oh, or Sticky White Stuff, who is doing, trying his hardest. The Wither, of course, slowing down Raheel a fair bit. But those Baron empowered minutes do a lot. Maybe Kronk gets it from down tower. How does he keep hitting those? Actually ridiculous. Gotta be secured by Onyx Goose. Looking for even more, but he of course gets his way back. He's playing Yone. And there it is. Oh, not gonna go down actually. Maybe
It's not over yet.
Nope.
Another tower. They're slowly forcing in every single lane. They're playing this game clinically clean. And Onyx Goose looking for that perfect game alongside Matt's Connoisseur. Not a single tower taken. They did manage to get one Drake though, UCC, but this just looks clinically clean. And another hook from Kronk onto Krusty.
Oh man, he just keeps hitting them as well. You know, early game, it was a bit slow. He got a bit punished by the Ashe, but didn't matter in the end. Late game, he finds those hooks. I think if they want to, they can just be looking for the end. If the curse come back, has to be up and available. Looking for a minute to go back. GGs are coming in to the chat as well. Maybe last chance, a triple knockout though. Raheel still alive under the tower. Goes away with half health. Good lies to it. Nope, it's gonna go down. Shutdown goes over to Gorn Pop. But there is the hook. He immediately goes down himself. And double kill already going over for this Ezreal as Sticky White Stuff trying his hardest to get himself alive. Trying his hardest to make anything happen at all, but it's gonna be short of a miracle if anything does happen. He goes down, and so does Krusty. The Nexus falls, and it's gonna be GG for the side of TCD.
Very, very clean game. What else can you say? That was exceptionally well played from the side of TCD, and I'm really looking forward to the next game here. They have to swap up the draft. They can't just ban all the mid laners. They have to find something they feel comfortable playing into. But we will be back in a couple of minutes. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we get into the second draft here. We are just about ready to go. We're waiting for the guys now to start up the draft. And Dutch, what do you think about first game and what stats do we have?
Welcome back to the Raheel show, everyone, where Raheel is going to show you how to play League of Legends and win games. I think that's about it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Did win MVP for game 1 as well. I don't know what to say. Then Raheel got 5 bans and still did whatever he did on Young. So I'm curious to see what kind of adaptations we were gonna see now. You were talking about already. You just cannot ban 5 mid laners because clearly you don't have enough.
Yeah, it's an interesting one because I said you need some sort of control mage in the mid to control them. Like you need to play something like, if you want to go full solo queue, you play Malzahar. But on the other side, you have to be looking at the likes of Orianna, something safe, something he can't really punish as much in the laning phase. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what they will pull out for that mid lane. I just don't feel like they played the early game well enough to utilize the Yuumi and Lulu. It just didn't work for them. Ashe couldn't get strong enough and the damage just wasn't there in the mid game because the jungle just every single time that Graves kind of ran in, it was just a kill and Raheel would just be cleaning up on the outside on the other end of it. He'd be jumping into the blue buff to kill. It would have been the Echo last game. Very, very interesting game, but Raheel kind of took over with a 52% vote actually for MVP as well, so very well done there on Raheel, and everyone agrees he kind of solo carried that game now.
Yeah, and we do see some adaptations, as this time we're not going to see the Grace. I'm expecting that to be a mistake yet again, so we're just going to wait and see.
There's always one.
There's always one. We can't go perfectly. Teemo is Rakan, so it's going to be a Rakan first pick, which sets up their bot lane a little bit more than it did last time when they had the Yuumi to work with.
Yeah, Rakan is a very good engaged champion, and it does give a little bit more flexibility and a little bit of safety. I love Oh, God.
Oh, yes!
Raheel's brother Rahul is coming for this game, I think.
Oh, man, it's... I was gonna note the Band Grace, they leave Yone and Yasuo open, which is realistically kind of the same champ. They answer with Zyrakan, which I think is fine. It gives them some safety in the bot lane. I think the Malphite is good as well, but man, they need to slow down this game significantly. They cannot let what happened last time, and now we can even see some AP and some very good builds to steal for the Silas.
Yeah, I was thinking in the last game, just over on the break there, that like the tempo was fairly slow in the early game. It was just kind of CS leads being built up here and there, a couple of invades, stuff like that, and then it was like this kind of like switch up happened, and TCD Dux just went, and they never stopped relenting. It was just like objective, kill, pick, tower. They were constantly moving around the map. Raheel was just everywhere. It was really impressive to see. It was like the old G2 of last year where like everything went slowly and then everything just went very, very quickly, and it was really good to see them like work so well as a unit and solo and moving their macro around, like not losing a tower and 2 people staying unkilled. Really impressive. But we do see some changes in the bans here. UCC taking away Ashe there, so they're kind of worried about the Zyrakan into the Ashe, which is kind of expected. It is one of the biggest counters, and Morgana being also massive in that lane. Not a bad set of bans coming out, and a little bit of an adaptation coming in from Netsock, which is nice. But that is a strong team. Wow.
Yeah. I'm really liking TCD. There's so much setup already for this Yasuo. Caitlyn also up and available if they want to go for that way. Considering they have set, I'm not expecting it. There's still a lot of options available. You could go for something like Tristana if you want to go. Kalista. I'm thinking of Kalista here. But that'd be a bit griefy against Saya Rakan. But it could definitely happen as Kha'Zix getting locked in as well, which is really interesting.
Especially with so many tanks, I don't feel like that pick is viable into this comp. Like Gragas isn't going to get one shot by either as Sett or Silas. That's an interesting one for sure. And is that a Malphite mid then?
I think so. Or it could be a Garen mid. I think both work decently into Yasuo.
I know, but I've seen a lot of people say that Malphite... Oh yeah, Dutchy, yeah. 3 for 3. 3 for 3, no?
Well, Alright, this is very interesting, right? Kalista has a lot of freedom against Xayah Rakan. I'm just gonna take it away real quickly.
Go.
They have an aggressive bot lane. Even against Xayah Rakan, Kalista said could do some work if they play around that W well, that level 1 power spike very well. And then even if that doesn't work out, Kalista is going to be useful because it gives them so much setup with the knockup on for this Yasuo. And Seta can just combo into that. So we literally have another Raheel comp with a touch of intercourse if he wants to go for that. That's not really wrong, but that's the name of the ADC.
Yeah, okay. Covering yourself. I don't necessarily agree with UCC NetSock's choice of bot lane. That's the first thing I'm gonna say. Because it was in meta last year, it's not so strong this year. It's actually quite weak, that combo. So genuinely curious to see how that lane will go. Especially with a Kha'Zix. Like if you're playing Xayah Rakan, you have setup, you have a lot of CC, and you have a lot of damage in that lane. Into Set Kalista, which I'm expecting to be the bot side. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't, but you have a lot of setup there, and you can work with that quite easily because Rakan has so much mobility. Set shouldn't be too much of a problem. Kha'Zix can't really gank that lane. That's not a lane he could focus down, I don't think, and I'm not sure what else you could have taken as a jungler to get into that lane and do work, considering so many bans were thrown into that jungle. It just seems interesting that was the choice when Set and Kalista are going to stick side by side for most of the game, and like your other pick choices aren't that squishy, and Yasuo, Gragas and Sylas, most of them will maybe be able to 1v1 you in most cases, even with the isolation. I'm not too sure what was going through the mind there when they did pick the Kha'Zix.
Well, I think it's a case of picking Malphite mid. Like, you're gonna be lacking damage, so we're looking at basically a forced damage jungler. Garen's gonna fall off, so they need something to back him up. Now, is Kha'Zix the perfect choice? Probably not, no, but I think it's fine. You could be looking at like a Fnatic case where they're like, oh, why do we pick Kha'Zix? Oh, because the jungler really likes it, realistically, right? So,
yeah,
if he pops off, there is some hope. I think they skill very well as well, especially compared to like Kalista Set gets outskilled by Xayah Rakan. The Yasuo Gragas, it's very much mid game and late game. They do very well, but then Sylas, I think, I think he falls off quite a bit compared to like the ultimates he has available to him. It's gonna be interesting.
You know what I think would have been great, actually, now that I think about it? Fiddlesticks would have been a great jungle champion for this game.
True. Actually, yeah.
I can just see that wombo combo in my head now, and Rakan just there to run around and charm everyone up. I think that would have been a great pick, and maybe even Karthus jungle. It's still a good pick, no?
Quick note: we haven't discussed something, because spoiler alert, I'm seeing the champ select on the client.
Yasuo's top.
Yasuo's top.
Yes.
And he's against Garen, and I don't think he's gonna have a great time.
No, I don't think Yasuo works too well in. They could lane swap now. Raheel could go top, nonetheless.
Correct.
So maybe Sylas and the Garen might go a little bit better, but Sylas needs to be in that mid lane to receive more ganks, while Yasuo just needs to get to that level 6 so Gragas can set them up, and then maybe Raheel steals a Malphite ult and then hits that as well. So it's extra combos. Yasuo's just looking for that level lead or item lead, so just farming, staying safe. That's fine. I do think maybe that means Burn Pup can focus that top side, and that should maybe be the focus coming in now for them. Yeah, okay, that does change my idea a little bit, because maybe you can just play safety in the bot and go Kha'Zix top.
They swapped. So it's gonna be Sylas top probably.
Last 10 seconds, they get you with that.
Yeah, they get you with them. There's a poll up now. Who do you think is gonna win? I think it ended. The viewers think it's gonna be TCD 60-40. It's going to be interesting to see after the last game, of course. I'd expect TCD to kind of use the momentum run away with it, but we're going to have to wait and see a little bit longer. We'll be right back as soon as the 3-minute spectator delay is gone. And we are back for game 2 between UCC and TCD on the blue and red side respectively, and got a little bit of a more interesting draft on both sides, I'd say, as we also immediately have a invade, cross defense. Needs to be a little bit careful, but I think we're gonna be all good in the end.
I think they got spotted there. The pings came out, so I think they got spotted. But they are going to keep walking in. There is a defensive line there as well. So I think they... Did they keep going here? What do you think? I think you pull back.
Yeah, they got the ward, they got the XP. It even got on Kalista, so that's a 10 gold, I believe it was, for yourself. Oh, very much ahead of you.
Minions have spawned.
So as we get back in, we're going to have a look. So it was the swap top. So Yasuo is going to be played in the mid lane. That was the last 10 seconds. We spoke about that. Does Sylas survive that early game? Does he win against the Garen?
Well, realistically he shouldn't win, right? But he has a bit of an easier time to try and walk up and farm with the chains that he has to himself. And he could even set up a little bit easier compared to the Yasuo, who of course needs his 3-6 on his Q, and a lot of mid laners already back off a little bit. Yep, screw. Oh, engage actually on this Kalista, which is exactly what you want, but a beautiful stun from Crunk makes sure that nothing is gonna happen out of that one. That was fantastic.
I'm just going to say MVP for best name is going to Kronk 100%. Because I love Emperor's New Groove. That's just great, like. It's just wonderful, I love it. But no, that was a very nice start. Heal burnt already, so TCD a little bit behind so far, which is good to see. UCC coming back, trying to get their stamp on this game and make sure that people do fear them coming into the rest of the bracket, because that first game did not look good for them overall.
It definitely didn't, and just quickly about that bot lane. We see a Zyra Rakan, and I was touching on it a little bit in the drop. It is that level 1 that is so strong in this lane. Now we see a bit of a discrepancy, like you have to start W on this Xayah, so we're gonna wait till level 3 for any further aggressiveness that we can see, but after that, I think they have a good choice, good amount of options, I should say, in the bot lane to actually try and win over this Kalista, who kinda needs to win that early game to have a lot of impact.
Yeah. As we look around to the rest of the lanes, a small CS lead picked up there from Matt's Connoisseur. Raheel won't be able to do as much as he did in the first game against that Lulu, so we're expecting more of an even side there. But as we see, Onyx Goose and Burnup both converging around that mid side, but Burnup did get a slightly faster clear, which means first gank is going to go to Burnup, but the counter gank is available for Onyx. And the ward goes in, very well done by Krusty.
Oh, the flex body slam, they're immediately gonna go, but the ignite, I don't think it's gonna be enough to make Krusty in a lot of trouble. Flashes away to save. He's gonna be a flash for flash for flash for flash. So in the end, it's gonna be an even trade, but Raheel gets a bit more CS in the end.
Yeah, and the ignite also goes down. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh, the face breaker, but there is the root from the Blade Caller. A lot of them just come down on Quirk. They're gonna continue.
Oh.
A lot of them just come down. He'll save him though. Intercourse. Is he too far forward? Yes, he is. It's gonna be UCC with a response and with a first blood.
Okay, so that changes everything. I was about to say this could be a very nice engage coming in as I was halfway through another sentence, but Kadra just picking that up. Kronk going aggressive in the 1v1. This is the support diff, no?
Still gets
oh my god!
Gets ignited, flashes forward, but the haymaker not connecting
Very
makes
nice.
it so KO stays safe and alive.
And people say ADC have no synergy or agency at all in the game anymore. Not at all. The supports aren't stronger. It just feels bad, man. Okay.
It does.
It hurts the soul.
Specifically for Seth, right? He just has a lot of options. He also wants to get rid of the flash, so he can proc his Nimbus Cloak a bit more with the Hex Flash.
Yeah.
Doesn't really like it straight.
There was a time as well when you had the inspiration tree with the after you use a summon spell you get more armor, magic resist, and tenacity. You could spam that randomly in bush, not fully proc it. So it never went off cooldown, but you constantly got more magic and more magic resist and armor. It was an unnoticed bug because support mains are smart and don't tell people about it. Also the Umbral Glaive one where if you shoot the plants, the blast cones, it actually deletes them from the game, so they don't respawn.
Oh,
Just little things
yeah,
like that.
They fixed it in Worlds, but I don't think it's fixed in this patch.
No, it's not fixed for us because only competitive matters. But as we do have a look around, the Drake is being starting up this type by TCD. They did lose first Drake last game. Onyx at the flash didn't quite get there. This could be Burnpup's reverse. Could he go for the steal himself? He decides not to. So a nice clean pick up there for TCD, getting the first Cloud, as the second will be Infernal. So we're going to coin flip between Mountain, which honestly is a pretty good one this time around. There's a lot of tanky units and they could definitely use that. On the other side though, the Cloud Drake, or the Ocean Drake, the best Drake in the game, 100%. Just, you cannot die. And putting that on a Sylas and a Kalista and a Yasuo, I think that could be detrimental if TCD managed to keep these Drakes going and capitalise off of that win condition.
Yeah, it's always a strong impact as soon as you get towards those cloud souls. Even if you don't have it, that soul point makes it so that the other team always has to respond, of course, towards the amount of pressure that that gets provided on the map. For now though, it's just a 1-0. I like this way more from UC than we saw last time, and even Burnpup is very active on the map, making sure that he's actually walking around trying to get these ganks off and get this Kha'Zix going.
Yeah, the first gank didn't work out too well for them, but at least he's attempting something and not just dying in his own jungle to a mid laner who's running around doing everything for the team. So it's not great because they're still even, and he should be looking to get an advantage somewhere on the map with all of these flashes being blown, but they aren't 6 kills down at 7 minutes, so already looking a little bit better. But I am curious to see if Kha'Zix will be able to get something down before Onyx manages to get those big ults off that will be capitalised on well by Raheel and Matt's going to surface. They could definitely use them to set up for kills. That's a nice knock-up though, and Kronk for the stun as well.
Still has the Haymaker, shields the Blade Caller, gonna stay safe. Ignite, gonna be used by Menexus, but I don't think made enough damage. As Intercourse trying to get a bit of a return damage. Of course, that Rend does so much.
Yeah, the Rend
like
really doing some damage there. So many stacks, but just not quite enough for the kill. It's not a duelist Kalista though, so it doesn't just automatically do it when they're low enough. From the TFT players. Busted comp. But nonetheless, it's the recall going to come in. Raheel, he has an opportunity, but okay. So we should be seeing a pause coming in.
I mean, the R's are already coming down, so it shouldn't be too long for this pause to come down. But give us a second to see where we're at right now. It's 11.6k towards 11.4k. That's the one kill that went over. Of course, we see a bit of CS lanes in both of the solo laners, which is kind of to be expected. As I was saying before, the change are up and available makes it a little bit easier to last hit those minions. And then mid lane, Yasuo, a bit more range than that Malphite. But yeah, I'm really hoping to see that what we saw before, Burnpop kind of committing towards this bot side. You want to put this Kalista behind and the Xayah very much so ahead, just because he's your only DPS.
As he's gone again. Yeah, I'll talk a little bit more about that. It's just, as we go through, Garen and Sylas has the advantage. Then Kha'Zix has the advantage. Yasuo, Malphite, Yasuo. So, like, it's going back and forth on both. I think the biggest kind of thing we do have to talk about right now is the fact that the level 6s are going to start coming through, and the next big fight should happen around the Drake. Who matters more in that fight? Is it the Malphite or the Yasuo? Because Kalista's going to be able to pull that set in and out. Will be able to get the setup for the knockups with Raheel with the set. But can Malphite make that difference? Or does he have to recall, get some more items? Does he have to wait around? I'm not too sure what they can follow up with on the Malphite if they don't have that much of an advantage onto Kadra. So I feel like right now Burnpup doesn't need to go near that top side. Completely ignore that Rift Herald. Don't go near it. Just camp that bot side. Make sure you have at least one item completed on Kadra to make that dragon fight worth. Or change the way you want to play completely. Go for the Rift Herald. Wait for the dragon play. And then try to get plates somewhere onto one of your carries. So I'm not sure which way they're going to go, but I feel like they need to focus this bot side now.
Yeah, I like the bot side way more. There's also very much, there's a lot more wave clear on Kadra, so they could get bot prio way easier to walk towards that Drake. Plus the fact that you were saying it a little bit, who's going to be more important, the Malphite or the Yasuo? Well, realistically, Malphite doesn't need a whole lot of setup. He just presses R and then you're good to go, whereas Yasuo, there's a lot of things you need to keep your eyes on. Luckily for him, there's a lot of things to have in lockup on this team, so he's well set and prepared, but let's wait and see if that actually, works out as soon as we get towards those team fights.
Yeah, and the tempo in this game is a lot slower than it was in previous games. This is around the time last game where like the invades were happening in the enemy jungle, and we saw Onyx Goose and Raheel really putting the pressure down, so seeing them slow down a little bit is nice to see them kind of playing to their strengths in the comp, because they do need those level advantages. They do need to be farming as much as possible. Raheel even holding waves there with the wind wall. We do see Matt's gonna start the window.
Yeah, the Mushroom Justin has been stolen, so execute ready, available, doesn't get in range though.
Close. It is nice to see a bit of aggression in that top side though, not just the wet noodle fight that we did have the last time, and the Orange just bopping everything. But that is good advantage being picked up. The CS advantage is building and building, and the TPs are readily available. I'm not sure if Sticky White Stuff wants to stick around for this
though. This is fantastic. Burn is gonna be there. Face break only hits Rakan, but the charm's gonna be landing. There's the Fate's call. Keeps them both to safety. It is disaster in the end as Krunk secures the kill under the tower.
Yeah, going a little bit too deep there. The pull back there from Kalista, the Fate's call just changing that entire setup, and as we do see, Krustvance is actually in that bot side as well, but that's definitely a kill for Matt's Connoisseur first.
They're still going to get one, but the double knockup makes sure Lost Breath does a lot of damage. Raheel picks up his first kill of the game and might as well pick up his second, maybe even gets a third if he's lucky at the end of this one. It goes all wrong for the side of UCC. That dragon is going to be spawning, but no bot lane is going to be there to have any response for it.
Yeah, I was saying which one was going to be more important there, and as we saw, once that fight started, Raheel with Onyx Goose, that ult setting up the double last breath just changed that fight completely. Krustvance didn't even get to land, the ult was flashed away from. So, overall, a really big win there for the side of TCD to help them push this fight and this game. The Ocean actually comes as well, so that could be massive for them. It's still all out in the open though, this could still get changed around really quickly. Burn Pup can still make stuff happen. Krustvance does pick up one kill at least, so that could be a big changer once the AP starts coming in and Malphite becomes that unstoppable rock of magic, which never made any sense to me. Same as Shyvana not being an AP champion and being told to build AD on her. Backwards.
I mean, she is now.
She is now, after what, 6 years?
True. Yeah, well, I mean, if Rock is anything, it's magic, right? He's walking around and shit. Surely that's magical.
Yeah, he is a magic rock, but like, he's meant to be a tank, no? He's meant to be the mountain.
But the plate guard is beautiful. Make sure that the knockup lands as well on this Kalista. Nexus has to escape to safety. I don't think they have a lot more damage to deal with as the rock comes down. Unstoppable force not available. They need to be careful with the charm. Gotta be there for safety as we do see a dive in the top lane, but the heal comes down and is so much. The stealth gonna be stolen. They're gonna be so safe. Burn Pop, no way out. As a double kill comes over for Onyx Goose.
Exceptionally well there. Matt's Connoisseur just styling on, like, it just looks worrying when they try to make a play and it backfires so heavily. And then on the bot side, where Kha'Zix I thought should have been, it was just so much cleaner looking. And it's not all lost. Kadra does manage to pick up another kill, puts Intercourse slightly further behind on this Kalista, but that is their lane to focus, and now Burn Pup has to stop going near that top side. Silas is so strong, picking up the, well, I call it the Super Soaker, I'm not sure what you call it yourself.
Super Soaker indeed, yeah.
It has to be the Super Soaker. Also, the graphics are slightly bugged. I love that about the Drakes, that they had this big, like, reveal and everything's meant to be set up perfectly, and then Spectator just doesn't work properly with it. But nonetheless, Krustvance coming back into that mid lane is down a considerable amount of CS and is now going to get dove. We'll see how this one goes.
Unstoppable force right on top of his Yasuo, but the explosive call is fantastic. Burnpop gonna be taken down. Let's see if they're gonna get a return kill. No, the knockup and the flash to safety. It is the mid-jungle duo of TCD yet again doing so much work. We have a top side fight as well. The Motion Justice is hijacked. Matt's gonna start trying get one more chains to land. And he's gonna get it as well. And easy execute afterwards as it is now all falling down in the freeze.
Yeah, this is the tempo change now. This is where they start pushing stuff. It was that Rift Herald drop straight into the mid. Same again, picking up 2 kills, same as the last game. It was closer to the last game, where Onyx did actually nearly go down, and this time it swapped to Raheel. But Kadra and Manixus, they're going
they're
for
really
something.
looking for a double knock-up, and the Fate's Call not going to be nearly enough. Prong trying to stop the show, but I don't think... Oh, actually, it might just have it in and just walks away. I don't think...
Oh no.
Ultimate... A bit forced.
That wasn't it. That was not it. Good attempts, but Burnpop coming in here, going to get clear out the wards that have been left in his jungle from the last time Onyx was around. That was very forced in the bot side. Just using that ult when you know that the team's falling behind now. Trio jungle, trio mid, 2-0 top. The goal difference is going to become bigger and bigger, and Raheel going for the fight here in the 1v1.
He goes in, he has to fence and then just he just kills him.
Yeah, that's a big goal. As we see the goal differences here coming up on the screen, it's 1.4 in the top, nearly 2k in the jungle, 2.7 for the mid laners. The only real advantage they have is Kadra there, just coming up on the 6k mark, but I don't think it's enough right now for them to win the next fight around the Drake. I think the next Drake, which will be Soul Point, should go over easily to the hands of TCD. So I think there has to be some sort of macro change here or tempo change. They need to slow this game down again, because once the tempo speeds up, TCD come out so comfortably into those like forced fights and constant fighting that it seems like the kind of Damwon effect where like you think, oh, they're going to lose this team fight because they're not ready for it or they haven't engaged it, but they just work so well as a unit that...
Oh.
Okay.
It's a bit of an interesting one. Well, we could still be looking at a Burnpop steal. We tried it last game. Hopefully this time he doesn't get knocked up to death. The body slam does not connect. I think that Manix just gonna be staying safe. For now, they're trying to clear vision and starting the dragon at the same time. Sticky Bite Stop is not available, doesn't have his TP up yet. Dragon gonna be targeted. Let's see if Burnpop goes in and gets the steal. Unstoppable Force also available. Showstopper. There it is.
Oh, it's back.
Combo. The double knockup. The face breaker. Just everything gets thrown down as Raheel. Of course, it's gonna be Raheel picks up a kill. Krusty gonna go down. An easy victory for TCD.
I did say maybe they shouldn't take that fight. Maybe they're not ready. But TCD just walking over that one. The Malphite ult steal from Matt's kind of service what really changed that, because Krusty Pants went for Sylas. Sylas went for the backline. Sylas got the backline first. So massive team fight coming in there. Another Drake getting onto Soul Point onto this Ocean. It looks very, very close to a GG if they do pick up that Ocean. It is 4.5 minutes till the next Drake. So I think UCC have 4.5 minutes to try make something happen to give them a big advantage, because that is a 5k goal, 6k goal lead coming in now for the side of TCD.
Well, you can't just magically make something happen, right? It's gonna come from the players, it's gonna come from like a setup somewhere, doing something, anything at all, but for now I think you're just straight out of options for the side of UCC. You either wait and hope you outskill this team with your Xayah, or you're just gonna force plays and get further behind because you just cannot fight at the moment.
You think they need to play reactively instead of proactively?
I don't think they have options to do anything proactively, yeah.
TSM supporter right here.
Well, TSM is ahead and then doesn't do anything for it.
Yeah, true. No, true. Sorry. My apologies. Nothing like making early game plays and getting a lead and then just forgetting how to play League. But UCC are better than TSM, and they're not going to forget how to play League. They are going to farm up, they're going to get to the item spikes that they need to, and then I think if they can make a Soul Point steal, and force a fight then, or force them to fight around it with bad numbers, I think they have an opportunity to get something. That is the only way I can see them getting back into this. Because macro-wise, they can defend the lanes, they can keep the lanes from losing towers, but once that dive comes in, someone has to stop Onyx Goose from landing that ult onto key targets. So safety is key here. Keep farming as well as you can. Cager needs to watch, but it isn't lost yet. UCC still have an opportunity here, but the TP coming in from Krusty here, looking for something. This could be the force play that Dutch was talking about, where they could set themselves further behind. I don't think this is the fight they want.
It looks decent for now. Unstoppable Force, no, got slashed away upon. Immediate response in that TP. They engage further up. Rakan trying to charm the whole team, but it's not nearly gonna be enough. It's just gonna be TCG running over everyone. Just one knockup. The Featherstorm comes down, just the root doesn't even stop anything, and a follow-up is absolutely fantastic from Mets Connoisseur. And, well, I don't want to say I called it, but it looks very, very rough. Burnfall trying to just run away to safety. Flashes back over it, but doesn't get the outside. That was very nice, but...
It looked good.
Yeah,
it didn't work, though. Nonetheless, you were correct once again in your predictions. They would force a fight and end up further behind, but that's a sign of a bad team is just rolling over and playing dead. A sign of a good team is a team that continues to fight and keeps trying new things, because when they go into their next game and they fall behind, they won't make that play again, hopefully. They'll play it a little bit better, but as we see, the Drake or the Baron will be started up here. Once they get this, they can comfortably push all of the lanes, side lane, mid lane, group up, 1-3-1, whatever they need to do, and then just wait around to get that Drake. Or if another forced fight happens, they can straight up end the game. So once again, TCD playing a very, very clean game. Only one person on their team has died, so I think they might be looking for a new ADC come next game. Just to get that perfectly clean team, you know?
Give me some top esports vibes, you know, the whole team is winning, but the bot lane gets focused, so there you are, that's what happens.
No, it's all Interforce's fault, 100%. Running it down.
Shouldn't have ever picked this from them. This guy
should have picked a tank like everyone else did, or an off tank, you know? Phantom Dancer Rush, every game. But, no, I'd never do that, Blissa, Jesus. Don't listen to me. There's a reason I'm gold. Nonetheless, though, like, as we have our last little look around, it's once again Raheel with insane CS numbers, insane kills, and insane pressure in the game. And when we go back to pick and ban, which seems like a while ago, but UCC did heavily ban out the mid lane. What teams are looking for going forward? Can they do the same thing, or can they find something to match? Because I don't think the Malphite in the mid for Krusty Fans was the issue this time around. The heal got fed around the map and during team fights and team fighting better as a team. What would you do looking at this TCD team before they start the strike?
Well,
never mind.
Some were forced to get away, but Chronic is a speedy boy. It goes into everyone's showstopper, not really hitting everything. There's gonna be an explosive cost, doesn't matter. This could be the opening that I have been looking for, but no, the backline is still alive, and so is Raheel. She goes in, gets the last breath, gets the kill, and they're gonna get the Dragon Soul as well. And this game, you know, looking a little bit over and dusted.
Yeah, very same as last game. Very clean macro, getting around the map, taking the right fights, and playing it slow when they need to. It's a really big strength of this team from what I've seen so far, is that they know when to push tempo and they know when to slow the entire game down. And they slowed it down long enough for UCC to have hope, to start farming, to think, oh yeah, we can do this, and then they just kill them 4 times, 5 times in a row, and it's over. But TCD are playing exceptionally well, but what do they do now? Like, do they want to try and go for what they did last game and get all 3 towers, all 3 inhibs, and then force the last fight and win from there? Or are they just going to solo queue it, as it were, and run it down one lane?
Well, it looks like Raheel is just going to run it down. Blood Spread, of course, available as well. Burnfall joining in on this fight, and not sure this is going to do much, as Raheel has life steal, has damage, has everything that he could ever wish for. Picking up a 1v2 kills. Oh, Burnfall trying his hardest to try and save this one, but giving up, I think.
Yeah, just trying to do damage, and the two of them just hitting the tower around him and deciding, we'll kill him now? Yeah, sure. It's a mercy kill at this stage, but obviously Matt's Connoisseur and Onyx Goose going for the kill now onto Garen. The ult comes through. That Ocean Drake is healing them consistently through every single fight, and there just isn't any grievous wounds coming through apart from when you hit Garen. Like, you need some sort of grievous wounds from an Executioners or a Morello's here to stop this Ocean, but it's still so early in the game. We're only 23, 24 minutes in. You haven't got that third item yet. You haven't got your core complete. Your core item is your first two and then your optional.
Well, unless you're Raheel.
Unless you're Raheel. Raheel can do whatever. He can honestly just chill, like. He's just that far ahead, but like every champion has two core items. And then you have your situational, and then if you're far ahead, you can usually use that as another core. But it should be core, situational, core. And boots are in there too. Just always have boots. Don't pull a Gengar on it and forget them in the Div 3 finals.
Oh, the team, man! Bladestorm gets Windwall though, and the return is incredible! 4 men lost breath. Do they have it in them? A lot of feathers do a lot of damage. They're trying to get away, but there's Masconosaur, Superstar gonna slow everything down, and the slow, and the charms, and the everything as they keep going forward to try and finish this game off, and I think they have it in them. They're just gonna try and finish off the mid. The opening was there, but they were just not far enough.
They had the combo, they didn't have the damage.
Yeah, that's perfect, and then, well, to add insult to injury.
And the ward's going down as well for minutes, just trying to boost his numbers up for the L battle fight there for the end of season stats. But oh, even the stop mid-air on Burn Pup, Onyx Goose just has his number this game. Really well done from TCD. And as they go to finish this game out, slowly but surely, just waiting for the mini wave to come in as Raheel just taunts them. The wrong wind wall.
The wrong direction, excuse me. Doesn't really matter. Oh my god, Matt almost gets a solo kill. It's still an assist for Eagle, but GGs are coming through. And GG, it was a bit of a slower early game, and it looked to be good for UCC. In the end, it is always Raheel that just has 200 CS at 20 minutes, and then wins through the team fight. So trying to get a bit more KDA, and they're getting 2 more kills. Make that a third one as a double kill comes over to Kalista, saving his KDA a little bit. And that is it, a 2-0 going over to TCD.
Yeah, exceptionally well done there from TCD as they finish out the series 2-0. We didn't get to see these guys last week, but they did win last week as well, so that's them to a 4-0 now. And as you see, Raheel really is insanely good here, and so many bans thrown his way, and he still does so well. So I don't think we need to vote on an MVP between ourselves, but chat certainly can. But Raheel, 100% my MVP for this one.
Well, if we have to choose, I'd have to go between Raheel, Onyx Goose, and Kronk, playing absolutely fantastic in both of these games and showing, you know, how they won last week, how they win this week, and really actually kind of running away with this one. Even though the early game was very slow and controlled, as soon as we got into that mid game, into the later stages of the game, we saw that Yasuo just popping off. The knockups were there, the setup was there, and they even got a little bit of help stealing that Malphite ultimate as well. So well played by TCD, and a well-deserved victory, if I could say.
100%. So thanks everyone watching. It's been Seder and Dutch, and we will see you next week. And tomorrow, I believe... What game is tomorrow? Is it Siege tomorrow?
Yes, I think so.
I believe we have Siege tomorrow, so best of luck. Hope to see you all there, and good night.